The Media Dialogues. Vision 2020.
On Monday, April 20th, we saw the first steps towards a calibrated reopening of the economy. While this attempt has been patchy, piecemeal and discretionary across the states, the lockdown continues to be an overwhelming reality for the majority of people and industry sectors. The media and entertainment business is no different. All content production is on hold, events have been cancelled, and mega sports tournaments like the IPL suspended till further notice. To share his assessment of how the media landscape is going to have to be reimagined and remade after the experience of COVID-19, I'm joined now by Uday Shankar, Asia-Pac President of the Walt Disney Company and the Chairman of Star and Disney India. His aggressive bets on OTT streaming, cricket rights and new sporting leagues have made the broadcast behemoth the most valuable entertainment company in this part of the world. He's also Chairman of the Media and Entertainment Committee of industry body FICCI. Uday, it's so good to have you join us. It's good to see you, even though it's through a video link. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's always great to hear your voice, and I wish we could do this under better circumstances. But thank you.
When the lockdown is over, Uday, that's exactly what we'll do. Today, as we record this week, you should have been watching an IPL match. You should have been looking at all the advertisers trying to get on to the IPL broadcast. And here you are, a month sitting working from home. Ramayan is running on Doordarshan to, amazing ratings. Oil, American crude is below $0 a barrel. What is a normal day in the office in this altered reality?
A normal day has just become much longer and the separation between work and home has totally melted away. So my days start much earlier than they used to earlier, and I just keep laboring at it and go late into the night because I have a portfolio where parts of the businesses that I manage are in Australia and New Zealand, and they start much earlier, and my head office is Burbank. So just imagine managing the
different time zones.
Yeah, and then to do it all from home and hence sequentially, it's tough, but it's a totally new experience. As you said, it's the new altered reality. And this is tough, but this is smallest of the problems. Keeping everyone safe and making sure and praying for everyone in the country, in the world, in the society, and in the company and my family is a much bigger challenge.
We are hearing projections coming in from different world bodies, from governments, and all those projections look terrible, whether it's the global economy or the Indian economy, which had already started slowing down in the last year in our experience. What is your assessment of what's going on?
I think terrible is probably the right description for what's happening, but I also think that nobody has a full idea of how terrible the terrible is going to be, because these are still early days. In India, as far as this country is concerned, I think the government did the right thing by going very rapidly into a national lockdown, and that's why the numbers for India are really, really small. I think we had to pay a terrible economic price for it, but some prices have to be paid to save human lives, because the risk of uncontained COVID-19 outbreak in a population like India could be disastrous. So I think we've done that, and the economy has been devastated. We are already seeing the signs of it. No retailing, no manufacturing, no supply lines, no supply chains. And people are sitting at home. So it's tough, and it's going to get worse. I don't think the worst is over yet. A large number of people will see impact on their incomes, the jobs, and that's going to make it much tougher. I don't think, in all honesty, any one of us has seen anything quite like this.
What is it that you are doing to help ease some of the pain that the media and entertainment sector is experiencing at this point of time? And by that, I mean the people who are in the sector, isn't it?
So first and foremost, we are trying to make sure that everybody stays safe in the company. And as soon as the risks became very evident here, we decided to, go to work from home. And we were one of the first ones to shut production across the country. We have decided that we will support the people who work on our shows, even though they are not on our roles, we will support them and we'll make sure that the they are not out in the streets because
Sure.
the work suddenly stopped. So that's one. Two, we are also conscious of our larger social responsibility. Yes, media and entertainment is our business, but if this COVID-19 has taught us one thing, it has taught us how deeply connected we are
Right.
with one another. And unless everyone, literally everyone in the country and society is safe, we aren't safe and our businesses are not safe. So we always were conscious of that, and this has once again reinforced that message for our company. So between Star India and Disney Plus, we're trying to initiate a series of initiatives. So we're working with charity organizations to provide PPE and other kinds of healthcare support to municipal hospitals in Mumbai in a very big way, because this is where our headquarters are, but also
Right.
across the country. And we are also trying to see how we can do very targeted assistance to those who most desperately need it, both the care providers and those who are in need of care.
I've been seeing a lot of appeals and demands that different industry bodies, including the one you're at, that's FICCI, put out a list of demands. We've just seen the IBF pick up some of those demands and, reach out to the government asking for a whole bunch of things, whether it is, whether it's a waiver of the carriage fee, to Prasar Bharati's free dish for 3 months, whether it is multiplexes asking for interest-free loans and moratoriums. What is it that this industry needs if you were to prioritize, given that there are so many different demands and there are so many specific verticals?
I'm glad you asked that question. Like every other sector, media and entertainment has been devastated. However, ironically, most people don't think so, with the exception of the theatrical business, which, because since the theaters are shut and no one can go to watch a movie there, people understand that theaters are hurting. But everyone seems to believe that media and entertainment is having a great time.
That's because they're consuming it. That's because they're consuming it. So they don't understand. Yeah.
They don't understand that it's a double whammy, that people are consuming and you're not able to monetize it.
Sure.
So we still have to carry all the fixed costs, and we have to pay the wages, and our production has been shut. The content that we used to source from outside, whether it was films or live sports rights, it's all gone away. Advertising has fallen off a cliff, and people are consuming. So it's a double whammy. And I think it is possibly the worst impact on media across verticals and segments that we have seen, with a minor exception of news, where a lot of consumption is happening, and because consumption is happening, there is some amount of advertising happening too. You should not forget that this is the month, that you started by saying, is the month of the IPL.
Yes.
When advertising reaches a crescendo. IPL usually even trumps the festival season when it comes to advertising. More product launches happen during this month than any other time in the country. People may create their unique creatives and they launch their campaigns. They wait through the year for IPL. So I think its cascading effect on the economy and on the media and entertainment sector as a whole is going to be really, really dramatic.
Is there any hope at all that you are nurturing of having the IPL maybe August, September, you have 60 matches, a shorter IPL, or are all those conversations off the table as of April 2020?
Look, right now, Anuradha, really no one is in any position to answer that question, because for IPL to happen, first and foremost, the fear of COVID outbreak has to be contained significantly within the country, because the health of the people comes before everything else. Then some amount of normalcy has to happen. In movements on restriction, travel, etc., have to be reasonably lifted.
Right.
Even if we are talking about a tournament without spectators in the stadium, these normal movements need to happen, and we are far away from that. Don't forget that IPL is also something that involves the national government, the state government, and the municipal authorities. So they all have to come together. All I will say is that the BCCI is very focused on first making sure that everything is safe and we are out of this lockdown period. And I think only then will we be in a position to start having these conversations with various stakeholders and the governments.
As of now, would you say that it's not going to happen? What is your gut sense? And a lot of people in this industry trust your gut sense, Uday.
I think it's too volatile a situation to go with gut, to be honest. And I think safety of the population comes before everything else. Also, don't forget that the economy has taken a huge hit. So I don't know when will there be time. And then even if by June or so things get better, don't forget that we'll be in the thick of the monsoon season,
Right.
which goes on till till sometime in September, and the grounds won't be ready. We won't have grounds and pitches ready for matches to happen if everything is normal. So we are looking at earliest several months later that it can at all happen. And then there is the whole issue of a cricket calendar. So it's
Sure.
a very complex situation.
So what does that...
Besides all the other concerns.
Sure, I understand. Uday, what does that do to your rights? You have the IPL rights for 5 years. If there is no IPL this year, do you get an additional year? How does it work?
We have rights for 5 seasons, but again, no one has had those conversations yet, and I think it would be selfish and premature to start thinking about that. So we are right now just waiting for normalcy to return and for country to be safe before we can start having those engagements.
Let's move out to to some of the demands that have come in from industry bodies, from the IBF, going across to government. Like I said, from loan waivers, relief on taxes, all of that, right? What would you prioritize, Uday? What would you want the government to prioritize, given that there are so many demands that have come across for the sector as a whole?
I think FICCI has been very, very clear and very responsible in its approach. Our recommendation to the government has been that first, the poor people of this country who are most vulnerable, they are the ones that need to be looked after. So we have recommended to the government to put money in poor people's pockets as much and as soon as we can across the board, in urban areas and in rural areas, so that nobody is hurting because of destitution.
So, Uday, do you think that the relief package that has been announced by the Finance Ministry, the RBI moves or measures taken to help industry, do you think a lot more can be done on both those counts?
I think a lot more can be done and a lot more needs to be done. I also think that the government is acutely aware of how much more needs to be done, and we would see this is not going to be one silver bullet. I think we will see a series of initiatives from the government and other agencies like the RBI to bring relief to the industry. I think that's what we are all working with the government towards. And the government, the finance minister and the prime minister both are extremely focused on that.
Right. So, Uday, interestingly, in all the feedback that's gone to government across industry bodies, including FICCI, and now most recently from the IBF, a temporary hold on regulatory intervention seems to be an overarching demand for the broadcast industry specifically. The TRAI's frequent interventions in the past we've seen has been a bone of contention. I can see you smile, Uday, between broadcasters and the regulator. A lot has been said about the constant consultation papers, the NTO, the revised interconnect rules. Clearly, y'all are hoping that this is a time that you can use to get the TRAI, the regulator for the broadcast business, to back off a bit. Is that the way to understand it?
Look, I don't want to talk too much about it because, the matter is sub judice, and my company and the IBF both are parties to the judicial process. However, I'll tell you one thing. Given the large scale and fundamental devastation across the economy and for media and entertainment, I think everyone needs to be very careful about introducing further shock to the system, because we are in a very serious condition, and our ability to withstand any further shock is very, very marginal, and the sector can suffer irreparable damage. Some of the regulatory aggression has been somewhat detrimental to the industry. if not too much. And I think we should be mindful. Right now, the need is to rebuild the sector, to make sure that we create a supportive regime that allows the industry to get back on its feet. Don't forget that if the advertising is off the cliff, and if which supports which is the largest source of income for the entire media and entertainment sector, then we need to do other things. We need to take other measures to support the industry, because it's a huge employer. Over 7 million people get
Right.
employed by this sector. And it can't be anybody's case that they're here only to control and not to, without any concern for the consequences of those control. So, I think everyone needs to revisit their original positions and look at what the future suggests we should do in order to get back to a healthy rate of growth.
Uday, you alluded to the fact that, look at the irony of this situation. Viewership is going through the roof. You have captive audiences for media and entertainment, especially on broadcast, and you have no new content. Give me a sense of what is the thinking when it comes to resuming or restarting production once the industry, once you get the clearance from government. But given that COVID-19 still doesn't have a vaccine or a cure, what does a new process of production mean? What does it entail?
It is going to be a real challenge. First and foremost, everybody will have to wait for the government and the authorities in their cities and in their markets to give them the permission to go back to production. And then, we can all safely assume that it will be with a lot of limitations and discipline towards social distancing, and as it should be. Now, that creates a real problem. And I think for a long time, the output would be suboptimal, both in terms of volume and in terms of speed.
Right.
You can, and that has consequences. It creates a very unvirtuous downward spiral that, because you can't monetize and you've been hurt, your ability to invest in content, which is what should be the case, because you haven't produced fresh content for a long time. But our ability to produce and invest is limited. And the less you produce and invest, the less rapidly you'll be able to recover. So it's a very, very fragile situation, Anuradha.
Right. And Uday, given the broadcast industry is seeing what it is. Interestingly, the OTT platforms, Hotstar and now Disney Plus Hotstar, as you call the service, is also facing a content crunch in the sense that there is no new content. Having said that, would it be fair of me to say that the OTT platforms, the streaming services, are a little more insulated than broadcast today?
When the entire world is suffering, I don't think anyone is insulated,
Sure.
and nor are we.
Relatively speaking?
In our case, because Disney Plus was introduced in India after the lockdown began, we are in relatively a good place.
Right.
But we had planned for a large number of specials, what we call them, from Indian languages, very high quality production. But after special ops, we haven't been able to introduce any new
Sure.
content, because whichever state, wherever it
Sure.
was, it has all been paused. But consumption is happening. I think there is a lot of content that people want to watch, but slowly people want new offerings. They want excitement, even on TV. While the consumption has been going through the roof, as you called it, but it's all archival content.
Right.
And people don't realize one thing. On TV, for instance, primetime consumption hasn't really gone up that much. It's off prime, and the day parts,
Absolutely.
because people need to watch something, so they are watching whatever is available. But at some stage, already in the evening, it's beginning to impact, and at some stage, it's going to start hurting the consumer interest.
I understand that the content pipeline has dried up for streaming as well, and yet you did decide to go ahead and do the Disney Plus Hotstar launch earlier in April. You could have held off. You could have held on to that decision, because you have put on hold the launch of 2-3 channels, isn't it?
The channel launch, I'm not aware of I can't understand what you're talking about. But we launched Disney Plus Hotstar in here because we had the entire spectrum of Disney content, from
Sure.
Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, and Disney Studios, and which we wanted to bring here. It was always part of the plan. We would have normally launched it alongside IPL,
You're right.
and because IPL was not happening, the decision to be made was whether we wait for live cricket to come back or do we offer people whatever best.
Give me an
that we
insight
had.
into why you didn't wait. Give me an insight into the opportunity you saw and why you didn't wait, given
Because
that
we
it's
felt-
not had
we
the
felt-
kind of big blockbuster launch that you would have imagined and planned for it, isn't it?
Yeah, because the big blockbuster launch was going to was looking very uncertain. Still
Right.
looks uncertain. We don't know when live sports will resume.
Right.
And we feel that Disney Plus is extremely compelling, in its range of content. And at a time when people are sitting at home, the whole family is together, you need positive, inclusive content that is of interest to everybody. And that's what we have in Disney Plus portfolio of content. And we've seen this. The offtake has been very, very positive. We are very excited about how it's been received in English, of course, but also in Hindi, Tamil, and Telugu, where we have dubbed and offered the content.
Between sports tournaments, sporting events, sporting action, and the movies, both these two areas need people to go out and to trust the fact that the people around them are safe and not virus carriers. How do you see the Indian consumer behave in public spaces? Will they be confident or will they be anxious once the lockdown is lifted? And let's hope that lockdown is lifted soon.
I think people will be very apprehensive until we have a vaccine and, we have conviction that there is community sort of resistance, etc. People are going to be really, really careful. But then there are the realities of life. If you have to earn a living and you can't do it sitting at home forever, you have to go out, and going out, creates exposure. So I think you will see in this country also that, masks would become a regular phenomenon. Most people will be venturing out wearing masks.
Also
I
in
think
India,
washing-
Uday, we don't have much choice, right? Our public places are crowded, whether it's for entertainment or transport and transit or work.
Yeah, I think even before you go to entertainment, it's transit, transport, and work. That is where the risk is. I think people will take precautions. The message that's gone, and I think the government and Prime Minister Modi has handled it extremely well, where they've interacted directly with people, and Prime Minister has laid out very clearly the risks that we face. So I think that message has been taken home. Let's not forget that there is a lockdown. It's not a curfew. People are not getting arrested, and yet most people are home, and they've been home now for a month.
Uday, in America, we are seeing the toll that COVID-19 is taking on that country, on the people of that country, and on the economy. We are also seeing and we are hearing reports of how Walt Disney Company is really challenged, given theme parks, cruise ships, cinema, all of that has stopped, right, in the last few months. What kind of pressure does that put on you and the region that you represent in terms of deliveries that have to be made to this large global corporation?
Clearly, all businesses are under pressure, and as is the Walt Disney Company. And the segments that have been really compelling for us have all been affected. And my region, whether it is, it started with China, South Korea, Japan, Southeast Asia, Australia, India, all of them have been affected. So, there is pressure on everyone. But these are also situations beyond control. And I think Disney is a very visionary company. And, we are doing everything that we can do, but the fundamental strength of the businesses and assets that we have should enable us to come back to robust health very soon. But first thing right now is, for this whole uncertainty to go away, everybody needs to realize when will normal life start to come back.
All right, Uday, I'm going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us. You want to just close it with a cricket analogy, because you tend to do that quite a lot. So how are you feeling right now? You want to use a cricket analogy to describe exactly how you're feeling out there in the center. You've gone into bat, you're at the crease. Come on.
You've gone into bat out there in the center. It looks like there are dark clouds on the horizon. The whole match is going to be washed out. You may have to come back to the pavilion, but the clouds will disappear and you can go back. And if you're a good team, you will still go play very well and win the match.
Okay, Uday, I wish you and your entire team at Star Disney a whole lot of good luck. Stay safe, and we are going to have this conversation once the recovery begins, yeah?
Thank you very much, Anuradha, to you and to your team. Thanks for doing this, and stay safe. Hope we all come back to normal, exciting times and connect again. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Look out for another conversation on the Media Dialogues going forward, and stay tuned to CNBC TV 18 for all the latest information and analysis of what we are hearing about COVID-19.
The Media Dialogues, Vision 2020.